Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Cito Aftershow of here in Fernandina Beach, where we filmed our tail off. And I have Bill Pittman here with me, and we worked our butt naturally off. We tried several different things, and Bill, I gotta tell you, the area over the years has always been I've always joked around and used the word kryptonite. It's always been my kryptonite. I've been over here several occasions for several different reasons, and I've gotten lucky a couple times, and I've gotten unlucky a lot of times. And having you on the boat over here for this show was a plus and a definite need, because you guys got so much history over here, so many days chasing a redfish, something we both have a lot of passion for. You know, me and you have a redfishy mind in general. My redfishy mind is definitely stronger on the other coast. Your redfishy mind is definitely stronger than mine over here by far. You have great history fishing tournaments. I've fished around you and with you a few times over the years, and I've watched you succeed fishing this area. But what a tough, curveball after curveball. We knew we had a tough job on our hands with the wind yesterday, with a little bit of a late start, and we thought maybe that jetty thing was going to be the answer. It got us busy. We saw some really cool stuff, but it was tough. It was tough. You know, what was your thoughts on that jetty? What did you see that you think we could have done differently? You know, because at the Cito After Show, it's kind of about picking apart what we did do and what, in the end result, we could have maybe done differently. That's really what this after show is about. The long story short of it is when we're on the boat and we're just working our tail off for bites, it's really hard to teach and help with some tips while you're focused so heavily on trying to catch fish when you're getting beat on. So this gives us an opportunity to slow down. We don't have to worry about catching fish no more. We've done that. Now we get a chance to slow down and just take a deep breath and just see what we might have done differently.
Well, you do bring us some interesting points, and thank you for your compliments earlier. You know, I was thinking about this throughout the course of the day. As you know, you mentioned earlier the redfish mines, and with redfish mines, like as soon as you invited me, I'm immediately started. The very first thing I did was look up the tides.
Yeah.
You know, what we got. Well, you know what? We'll say potential plan. I never say what the plan is. It's the potential plan.
Right.
Because this area is so kryptonite, and it has been for me as well at times. It is. I mean, you have to make changes on the fly. But back to the jetties, looking back, if I would do something different, probably would have stuck to what I know very well. What we know is just left the big rods and bait at the house.
Yeah.
And just went with some lighter tackle, probably some spinning rods, lighter, and let do what how I caught fish there in the past and catch checks.
Right.
And just beat it that way, not trying to get some big fish and also what should be a guaranteed bite, which turned out today, even with bait.
There's never no guarantee. When you put that boat in the water, we've been around long enough to know that I don't care how much you know. When you put that boat in the water, there is no guarantee. The guarantees are now out the window for the day. Yeah. You're going to get what Mother Nature gives you, and these days it seems like it's a little more of a fit than it used to be. Bringing up the fact, we decided to use bait. Anytime you go fishing in an area that it's going to be tough, you got friends that talk and they got friends that talk, and you got like a click, like I got a click at home, you got a click up here, and you had reached out to just say, hey, what's been going on the last few days? Because we both know that it doesn't matter how much you know and how many times you fish the area, you have to fish it almost every day. Yeah. You have to stay on top of it, especially over here. So we reached out to a buddy of yours, and he had said, hey, go to the jetties. There's some fish moving around. Take some bait. Fish slow. Stay on the rocks. Stay active. We did all of that, and we caught some stuff along the way, but it just wasn't what we were looking for, which brought us to our, next thing was what's the last thing you did? What's the last thing that you was productive doing, which made the shift from the jetties to a completely different frame of mind. I mean, we went full circle to oceanside, jetty, deep water, bait, to chatterbaits in the marsh in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, Fill them in. Yeah, fill them in.
To me, is the fun of it. You know, the unknown, and I think that kind of stuff is what it sets good fishermen aside from, you know, I mean, everybody's good fishermen.
Yeah.
But, you know, being able to adjust to those changes.
Yeah.
And being prepared for it. And the thing is, it doesn't take a lot to be prepared for it.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's just being willing to make that change.
Yeah.
You know, and saying, okay, this ain't working. This is the max time I want to be here. And sometimes it's just a gut feeling. Oh, got to go. And then you just do it.
I was just fixing to say, we were literally on the boat. We were fishing. We were going through the motions. We were catching some stuff. And man, we were seeing tarpon. We were seeing big sharks. We were seeing a big old beautiful hammerhead just cruise right by us.
Gorgeous.
We saw some of the biggest jack crevalle I have seen in probably 20 years back at home. We don't see them they were huge. And all you want to do is catch one, but they wouldn't give us the time of the day. It was stuck up and it was unbelievable. And then all of a sudden you were like, I got an idea. Let's go. And I knew better than to question the idea. I've been around way too long, and I seen it in your eyes, I went, all right, guys, let's load it up and go. Which is exactly what we did, because we didn't have the fuel, we didn't have the plan for this.
Right.
So it was either pull it out, refuel. We just loaded the trailer. We just loaded the boats up on the trailer, and
went to a different ramp.
We went to a different ramp. You know, it was a smarter decision. And put it in there, and I'll let you take over. You know, that's your baby in there. A whole different style. We broke out the chatterbaits, the spinnerbaits, different trailers for worms, slow, extra pitching.
It's bass fishing.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically bass fishing. And it's no secret that I'm a strong river fisherman.
Yeah.
Tidal. And I guess it kind of goes back to when I was a kid. I remember my dad was a huge, big bass fisherman, very well known in this area for bass tournaments, and he's passed on. But I remember as a kid hanging out in the garage, and I saw my sister and I each holding a fish. And it wasn't until it clicked, it was probably, I would probably say, before I retired the first time. And I noticed my sister's holding a 7-pound black bass. And I'm holding a 7-pound redfish.
Yeah.
And I said, did you catch those in the same area? He goes, oh, yeah. I said, was that pretty regular? He goes, yeah. I'm like, And I started putting 2 and 2 together.
Made your mind spin.
And I was like, then after fishing Louisiana some, I was like,
Yeah.
So then I just started just working, pounding, and just research, and it just goes back to my style, my run and gun style.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah, that's exactly what we did. I don't know how many times we casted in that big chunk of the afternoon after leaving the jetties, but I guarantee you it was a lot more than it was at the jetties. It was constant. Feed them, push them, show it to them, and then you'd get rewarded.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the percentage would have been, but it was horrible. It was a horrible percentage per cast, but that's the style.
Well, we were 3 for 4 today at the end in there. I mean, we didn't have no redfish.
Yeah, 3 for 4, but the cast, you know, the percentage. But that's, like I say, that's part of the style. It's like you said, a run and gun. That's a perfect way to describe it. And the reactions and the search baits is all we used. We tried to make a lot of noise, a lot of flash, a lot of chatter, if you will, and it worked. And it bailed us out. And that's what I think. Taken away from this show specifically, this after show, to try to help anybody that might be coming to Fernandina or anywhere similar where you have that jetty, you have that deep water stuff, you pitch in docks around the ocean and things of that nature. And if it doesn't work, you know, if it's not showing you any good signs, don't be afraid to pack up and completely full circle the other direction and see what might happen. They're biting somewhere. You know,
they're like us. They got to eat.
They got to eat. They're biting somewhere.
Yeah.
Just because they're not biting this style don't mean they won't bite the other style. And man, we was blessed today to be able to switch gears and come out and still be sitting here with a little bit of, bowed up a little bit. You know what I mean? We feel a little better about life now.
Well, a lot of it too, you know, is knowing, like you said, when to make a change.
Yeah.
But that also applies to when you're fishing, like when, you know, I think sometimes people overcomplicate techniques, and I've seen people a tackle bag as big as this table.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think people should find what they're good at.
Yeah.
Like, what are they comfortable doing?
Confidence.
Whether it's bait casters or spinning rods.
Yeah.
And you dial that in and you make it work.
Yes, that's right.
And it's kind of like even like what we were using today, basically 2 different baits, and wasn't a whole lot of variation in those. But lots of times in just the presentation, like you started off fishing, I was like, slow down. Just slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, and immediately was it like your next cast you caught a fish?
It was the third cast. Yeah, it was the third cast in there, in that area, in that new zone there that we were trying out. The third cast, and you're 100% right. I made the cast, and I was thinking, we had a chatterbait, we had a spinnerbait. I was thinking power fish. And you was like, whoa, slow down. I slowed it down. You were like, no, slow down. And I slowed down, and boom. I mean, it was there. That was the ticket. So, I think coming away from this trip, this day, the biggest thing that I take away from it that I didn't have before was definitely always keep your head on a swivel and don't stop thinking. We talked about it a couple times on the boat about just simply thinking about your next move while you're making your move. It kind of goes a lot in life and a lot of things, but it definitely is important to do that in fishing, especially on those days when you're not getting it done and the signs are. So on the jetties, for instance, we both know that tarpon can be stuck up. So when you see a nice tarpon and you feed at it and it sticks its nose up at you, that's normal, okay? So sharks, that's another thing.
Sharks and jacks should hit.
Sometimes the shark's a little weird, and sometimes he just pitch it and he eats it and it's fine. But that big jack crevalle's cruising around and doing this right here with his head everywhere, and you show it to him and he's stuck up to you, that's when you pack your bags and you go to a different state.
There were the big ones too.
I mean,
they might have been 30.
I wanted one of them badly.
30-pounders.
I wanted one of them badly.
They stretched the stream for a while, no doubt.
Yeah.
I tell you, if I may add about like when you do, like where we was at, we was in slower water with mixture of grass and all. I think, technique-wise, one of the things that I do is when I go to an area where I know, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing, the way my brain works, I take like a mental snapshot of what's happening.
Yeah.
How's the water flowing? Is this all going to be, what's the grass look like? What's the shoreline look like? And then when my brain sees something different, then I know it's not normal. And the second fish we caught was just like that.
Yeah.
We'd already went past.
Yeah.
And I was already fishing, and I kind of noticed something, a little small grass twitch.
Yeah.
The bait, a little small shrimp.
Yeah, it was grass shrimp. Yep.
But then that's why I like bait casters in this kind of setting. I can more react, came in and boom, and it got, it made the right cast, and boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I was even with the chatterbait. Yeah, you think of chatterbaits or spinnerbaits, like how we started off by throwing it and reeling.
Yeah.
But not always. I fish a spinnerbait and chatterbait almost like a jerkbait, a pop in a jig, and retrieve, and that fish was basically hit the shoreline. I let it fall. Doop, doop, doop.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, not whining. It's not, even though it's a power bait style, you don't necessarily have to power.
Yeah, that's correct.
We really hope that you guys tune in and in the future, and hopefully you can learn something from the shows, the actual shows on the water and the Ceto After Show. That's the whole concept behind it. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And I appreciate Bill for joining me.
Thanks
once again, buddy.
me.
I really appreciate you stepping up and coming out here, and it was a great time fishing. It won't be our last time on the water. We'll do it again for sure. We had too much fun. So we appreciate you guys viewing in, and we will catch you next episode.